Brother Bobby, what's up? DK Bash, what's up? Happy New Year, brothers. Happy New Year. I thought this was an interesting tune, so Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year. Sometimes you put music on and then Facebook does what they do. I just want to say now I don't have the rights to any of this music that I play, but I just find it to be interesting to play a little music right before we start. Brother Melvin Smith, what's up? Hey Yvette, how you doing? Del Valle, what's up, brother? Nah, it's lined up kind of good there, Sergio. Cut it out. Yo, what's up, Roger? What's happening, everybody? Let's get right into it. Happy New Year again. Hopefully we can make this a better year than last time around. Obviously we've been through the election process, and in certain factions of this union, we still going through the election process. I want to congratulate all winners in the MaBstoa section election, depot elections, who had elections. Congratulations on y'all win. And as I said in the other in other conversations, that just going through the process is an honor. When running for election, it means that you're being a part of the union. Win, lose, or draw, doesn't matter. You're being a part of the process, and being a part of the process is what makes things great in this union. As long as you follow the Constitution and the bylaws, that's what it is here for us to follow under. And once again, congratulations to everybody who ran. Whether you won or you lost, you participated, and that's what's important. This evening, I want to talk a little bit to you guys about workers' compensation, and especially with this job, because it's not even because. I mean, since I've been involved in the union, even before I got involved in the union, workers' compensation in the transit authority has been very problematic, because they make you go through all of these things, and it's all really just to force your hand to come back to work sooner than you might be ready to do. And I just want to put it out there that we, as a membership, and when I speak to you guys, I'm speaking with the expectation that you share some of the information. Now, workers' compensation, I do a lot of arbitration hearings, and I try to fend off discipline whenever possible. So here's going to be one of my times where I'm going to try to fend off some discipline. How you doing, Marilyn? Okay, so workers' compensation. The first thing you need to be aware of is when you're filling out the workers' compensation forms, right? And you got to be very mindful of of you got to be very mindful when you're filling out the forms that you're filling out accurately to the best of your knowledge. All right. When you filling out workers' compensation forms and you put things, if you're getting money from somewhere and you put that you're not getting money, they will charge you with fraud. So you have to be mindful the pitfalls of workers' compensation. Everybody tells you to go to a workers' compensation doctor. Everybody tells you to use this workers' compensation lawyer. That's what we've been pretty much trained to do. But nobody really gets into the meat and potatoes of workers' compensation. And, as a union rep, I like to, educate people on certain things. There's a book that I got here on how to navigate the workers' compensation maze, and without really getting into the book, it's a decent book, and it'll tell you on what you need to look out for, because at the end of the day, workers' compensation is an insurance. And if we know what insurance companies like to do, they like to deny. They like to keep you producing documents and paperwork. And the minute that you don't produce something, they want to withhold your pay. So the most important thing for you to do when you go out on workers' compensation is go see your union rep, and your union rep can help you with following and navigating the system. All right, because without that, and without that, you can make mistakes. I'm dealing with a case right now where the transit authority, I believe, they jumped the gun on somebody. They tried to charge them with fraud, and I don't believe that it's fraud. I believe that the member has done the right thing, and I have the proof to prove it in the case, which we will be going forward with. But the issues that's at hand is the fact that he got to go through the nonsense, and just want to put it out there. Make sure that you fill out the forms properly. All right. Now, let's talk about Cuomo, the Governor Cuomo's announcement to cancel the shutting down of the L train system. Now, nobody expected this. At least that's what they're trying to make us believe, even the managerial people. Now, they all show in the news where Governor Cuomo was walking in the tunnels, and when he was walking in the tunnels, he walked with some engineers who figured out what to do with the problem within 2 weeks, where transit managerial people and whoever else that they got couldn't figure out what to do to fix the tunnels. So what they was going to do was shut down the system. All right, I think at the end of the day, it's a win for the general public, because their train will still continue to run, whereas may not be good for us as a membership, because some of us have picked out maybe with the expectation of picking back to certain locations. So it was a big undertaking that we had to almost engage in, and we're not out of it yet. We still have to have discussions with management on what we're going to do. But one thing I can say is egg on the face of managers in the subway system. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about Tier 6. My man Sergio Fuertes, he wants to know about Tier 6, and so does a lot of us. We want to know about Tier 6 and the fight that's going to go on. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Everybody says Cuomo's not my friend, and I'm not taking as he's my friend. I mean, I don't go to the movies with him. I don't go out to dinner with him. So why would I think Cuomo's my friend? Cuomo is a politician, right? We can all agree that Cuomo's a politician, and the union unfortunately has to engage in politics. That's how we get bills moved, and we all know the arguments, and we already know the discussion on why we need and to deal with the political stuff that's going on with politics. Now, to answer you, Sergio, the union celebrated like we won and we didn't. You know what, bro? I have to agree with you on that. The flyer that went out, I think it really put the hopes up on people. And what we did we just won that it passed through the Senate and the Assembly. All right? We didn't win the fact that it got passed, because any law that's got to pass has got to be signed by the governor. And, there's some loopholes to that as well. But Tier 6 is a fight that we must continue. And, just because it was a battle we lost, we got to continue to fight that. And I expect to see the Tier 6 people to get on board and continue with that fight. There's no way around it. It's high on everybody's agenda that we continue to fight it. So let's fight it. I mean, when I came on the job so many years ago, there was a fight concerning the Tier 4 in 2555. I came on the job into 3062, but nobody wants to really educate themselves on the process of how it takes sometimes years to correct a wrong, and it takes sometimes the union being friendly with government that maybe they don't want to be friendly with, but maybe they're being friendly with them because they want to get the best option going for their membership. I don't know. I mean, I'm not at the top, and I'm certainly not going to explain actions, but I can tell you when our local was very anti-governor, and I can tell you and that governor was Governor Pataki, by the way, and we had to fight for a lot of things. And being totally honest with you guys, we've gotten decent we got 3%, 4%, we had 3.69% contracts, but then we got the percentage that we have to pay for our health care. So, the governor at that time was Governor Pataki. He was pretty conservative, and he wasn't playing with this union, even when we went on strike. When we went on strike, I mean, we showed the city that we could fight back, but we still came back with paying for medical. So, it is what it is. I want to answer a question. I'm going to take Ariel because it just popped up. You want to enlighten of the MTA crying broke? Can you speculate on how the local will negotiate on the new contract? Well, I can't really speculate on how the local will negotiate, because I know one thing: we got some new union reps, and we got some union reps that's never done this before, so they have to be trained on how to negotiate with their counterpart in management, and inexperience is gonna hurt a lot of people. And I'm gonna give you an example of inexperience, because it's funny. I was in Manhattanville Depot, and I was playing pool. In pool, we was playing ball in hand. That's the rule. Each depot has a rule on what they play when they're playing pool. But in Manhattanville, they play ball in hand. Now, while we was playing ball in hand, both of us broke, right? And I broke, and I sunk a ball, but my ball scratched, right? And then the same thing happened with the other gentleman who shot. And under the rules, the table is still an open table, right? But if you don't know the rules, then you can be taken advantage of. So my opponent tried to take advantage of a situation on me, thinking that I didn't know, and tried to say that the ball that I sunk on the break, even though I scratched, was my ball. So I put the brakes on. I said, let me put the brakes on you for a minute. And then that's when I did a little quick in that shop gate and said, "This is what I'm talking about experience." Because just like this man tried to take advantage of me, thinking I didn't know this game, all right, as well as he did. I actually did know the game, and he tried to basically tried to lie to me in order to get his way with he tried to lie to me to get his way in the game. But because of my experience in playing the game already, I knew what he was trying to do. And that's, you could translate that any way you want to, but translate that back into management trying to take advantage of his membership, especially or the union reps who represent the membership, who just don't know what they're representing. And when you don't know what you're representing, then oftentimes you will give away the store. So it's very important, and I'm like all hands on deck to help out any union rep in the position where they have to negotiate. We're going to have to help them, because we don't want no part of this union to fall victim to the MTA. And that's basically where I'm at. But as far as going back to the question, because I don't want to talk around anything, I want to go back to Ariel. Can I speculate on how the local will negotiate? No, I cannot speculate on how we will negotiate. But I will tell you how we will negotiate in the Department of Buses, because we're broken up in divisions. And we're gonna have our meeting 100 days before we actually negotiate, which is probably, I'm speculating, I think it'll be our February meeting that we will start to take some demands. I'm actually getting some demands and some ideas now from the membership, but we got to put our demands on the table. The managers crying broke has never, in my eyes, since I've been here, has never been a reason for us not to fight for a contract. And we still will fight for a contract, whether they're broke or not. And there's reasons to believe that they're not broke. Just like always, and every year that there was a contract fight, they said that they was broke. What's so different now? You think I believe that they're broke? Hell no. Brother Kemp, how are they going to deal with all the extra bodies that they were brought in to handle, that they brought in to handle the overflow from the shutdown? Now that right there, brother, is a good question, and it was a question that I've asked about when they was talking about hiring these people. I asked, what are they gonna do when they had to when they start reducing the system? Are you guys gonna start laying these people back off? What are you gonna do? And they say, oh no, they don't foresee layoffs, but the word they don't foresee doesn't mean no. And I can't predict. I mean, we've lived under a layoff in 2010. I can't predict what will happen. All I know is that they've been hiring to fill the shuttle, and that's just the Department of Buses. Let's talk about other departments. I'm hearing in the stations department, they have overhired by 121 bodies, and I'm hearing they're going to start sending supervisors back to be station agents or cleaners for that matter. And that's just the way that I don't want to say the way of the world, but that's what's going on right now. And part of the problem is we're still fighting each other as a union. We had our elections, the membership spoke, or whatever part of the membership spoke, who were interested in elections, and then there was a faction of the membership that just wasn't interested at all. And I'm more upset and feel a little disenfranchised from the people who don't care, who don't want to participate, and I want those people to participate, and we have to bring people back into the fold. People think just because you support your union that you may be supporting a particular candidate, and in a lot of cases that may be true, that you are supporting a candidate, but at the end of the day, you have to be about supporting your own interest. You have to be the change that you want to see. There's a lot of people that's out here and they talk and they talk and they talk, and this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, and my question is, well, why don't you participate to change it? I mean, I'm just the fact that I'm here, and I'm not tooting nobody's horn, not even tooting my own. I'm here, I'm doing a live, trying to, share information with each other, and just so we can better each other. We didn't all run together, and we didn't all have the same ideas, but fundamentally we're union, and we have to continue to be union together, and we all know, if you watch television, everybody watch the news. Just listen, the management in transit. I'm telling you, management in transit suck, because they oftentimes will try to do something or go over and beyond a situation where they're trying to maybe discipline somebody. They throw a ridiculous penalty out there to get you to want to get you to keep your job, so as you also not wanting to lose money, and that's problematic. That's problematic, and we have to just be on page where we are educating not just ourselves, but you got to come to your union meeting. There's a lot of things that we cannot say here on social media. You know what I'm saying? We just can't say it, but the fact that that we are all going through the same things, we have to start coming to these meetings, because that's what's outlined in our rules, our bylaws, our constitutions. You have to come to these meetings and learn. And I'm in my teaching phase. I often say it, I'm in my teaching phase. I got a YouTube channel. It's called Union Rep 100 with Donald Yates. I do a lot of different things on there. I'm in the process of teaching. If I can't come to you and teach, and let me tell you something, I'm not an educator. I was never trained in how to teach people, but I can give you a little bit of my experience and teach that way, and I can tell you, as a union, you can know the contract, you can know all the policies, the procedures, the rules, the regulations, but unless you standing together to force management into a position that they don't want to be forced into, then we're not acting like a union. In order to act like a union, we got to be just standing as one, stand together, and that's important. Like Sean Battaglia says, and thank you for saying that, brother. Management tries to give you new union rep deals, or so they think, over a seasoned rep, to try to make the newer rep. He's getting favors from. That's right. They try a lot of things to make you feel like you favor. You're getting favors, and I'm ecstatic on some of the things I see. I have a little bit of a reputation to be a ball buster of the union. I mean, not of the ball buster of management, and I like how I came up. And I came up hungry. I came up, wanting to fight. That's how I grew up, fighting against the bully, and I'm not the one that's going to sit down and say, oh, I'm not going to swap grievances. I'm not going to say, okay, I save this guy, but you can fire this guy. I want to save everybody, and that's just how it is, man. What's up, Flex, brother Flex? Anyway, mass membership meeting is coming up on Saturday, January 19th. The doors will be open up at 11 o'clock. Check out the flyers. It's over at the Sheridan Hotel up there on 7th Avenue, 52nd Street, I think that is. Traffic check-in. Let's go into traffic check-in a little bit. We have a hoodie grievance that I wrote last year, and before anybody really gets in here and says, well, what the hell are we fighting over a hooded sweatshirt for? Let me give you a little history. Traffic checking is the department. They belong to MaBstoa. They belong to MaBstoa Division 1. They're the department that is highly abused, and I'm not really understanding why they're so abused, but they are. They, management takes extreme advantage of them, and there's a situation going on now. I mean, you want to talk about upsetting an apple cart? They have good employees there, right? Who do a good job every single day, and because maybe they work in a certain cadre, and because they want, the management's vision is they want all cadres to be as good as the employee that's doing good in the other cadres. They want to mess with them, put them in bad cadres, and then and with the expectation that they're gonna make the cadre good. No, that's not even thinking managerial smart. What you're doing is you're gonna upset an employee, and you're gonna make an employee not happy to come to work anymore, and they're gonna start banging out on you, and then you're gonna have an availability problem. And then what does an availability problem create? Overtime. People don't make no sense. These people in management, especially over there, they just dumb and stupid. All right. The hoodie grievance, going back to that, the hoodie grievance was put into place because they had a uniform that was, the traffic checkers never had uniforms as far as I knew. And in 2014, a uniform was negotiated for them by my predecessor, Richard Davis. And he got them a lot of nice equipment to use. And then, they were still allowed to wear like something like this, what I got on, like a hooded sweatshirt. When it was cold, it was raining or snow, there's nothing like a hood to keep yourself warm. And then the department decided to say, you know what, it's unprofessional. So they sent a memorandum out saying that they can't wear the hoods anymore. So what I did was I filed a grievance, and I did it based on a long-standing practice that they always was allowed to wear hoods. So, we filed a grievance on that, and that was a year ago. And we had a step 2 in August. We had a step 1 right away. We had a step 2 in August, and we went to arbitration. I want to say back in maybe October. I want to say October we went to arbitration. Transit Authority wasn't ready to go forward, so they took an adjournment, or it got rescheduled, right? So then nothing was happening. So then in December we got put back on the calendar. Once again, the Transit Authority said that they wasn't ready. So I was like, well, hell no. It's getting cold out here. We in January now. We in the months we in the winter months. So I was like, I fought even with my own union to push the envelope to make sure that we at least got a temporary ruling, some type of temporary ruling. So let's go in front of the arbitrator and for good faith reasons put something in motion where until the arbitrator makes a final ruling that we can have our traffic checker wear hoods. So politics. I'm gonna tell you how politics works. So the labor relations, they can't decide on that. They want to say, oh, it's up to the department, and the department's not going to agree with that. So being that the department didn't want to agree to it, and labor relations can't make a decision, what happens now is that we have to get the arbitrator to make a ruling. So we got a temporary ruling. So the arbitrator said, and you got to read between the lines. The arbitrator essentially just said that look, if they wear their hoods, we're going to you can re-instruct them. So then we was like, well, what will happen if they wore their hoods again? Then you re-instruct them. Well, what will happen if they try to discipline even further? So then so then the arbitrator ruled, then we have to bring it back to us. So you're reading between the line, the temporary ruling was that they can re-instruct the traffic checker, but they cannot write the person no discipline. If they tried to write discipline, then it would have to go before the arbitrator, and the arbitrator would make a ruling right there. And I don't think they want to irritate the arbitrator, because based on the small, based on the, I don't want to say small, but based on the facts that we have in that case, I want to make a prediction that we're going to win that grievance, and I believe we have everything and all the ammunition on our side to win that grievance, because management has admitted, even in their step one decision, that it was a practice that they was eliminating, and we say that you have to negotiate with us if you want to change the practice, because now a practice became part of the contract. So that's essentially what the argument is boiled down to, is that you have to negotiate with us to change the practice. You can't just change it, because while you letting traffic checkers wear those hoods for so long, that became part of their uniform, and that became part of the contract on its own merits. So I just wanted to let people know that's where we're at. And I'm getting ready to go to war with them on something else, and that's I got traffic checkers who are part-timers. So listen, I don't pretend to know everything, right? But I'm just going to throw this out there with my traffic checkers. They're attacking my traffic checkers now. They're trying to reduce their hours, right? My full-time traffic checkers have a guarantee in the contract for 35 hours. My part-time traffic checkers, is nothing written on a guarantee for whatever the part-time hours are. However, I was looking up in New York State labor law, and it does define full-time work, but it doesn't define part-time work. The only definition that they give to part-time work is that they got to pay the FALCA, right? And it doesn't matter if you're full-time or part-time. That's what you have to pay. It has to come. It has to be. It has to be paid. Now, what I'm looking at is another issue of a practice. Now, the practice with the traffic checkers is that even though that the majority of the department is part-timers, the majority of the department has also worked over 30 hours a week, every week, and we can prove it. So my question, I'm throwing it out there to some of my smart guys out there and my smart women out there who may know a little something about the Department of Labor. What do you think my chances are about filing such a grievance where the part-time is defined by management ability to give you work just less than 40 hours, or should I say half of that, which would be between 15 and 20 hours. My argument would be a past practice argument, and I'm looking to fight the argument based on, for years, I'm not talking about this happened yesterday, but for years, a lot of my checkers was getting 30 hours and at least 30 hours, and that's part-time. So if anybody can come up with some ideas, you can inbox me. This is a way that we can help our brothers and sisters over in traffic checking. I'm looking for a little help, and anybody who can, help me out with that, do a little research and help me out, that'd be cool, because I'm definitely looking forward to fighting that battle and following that grievance. You know what I mean? And that's who we are. Once again, I want to do a really quick recap, because then I'm gonna be ready to get on out of here. But anyway, I wanna wish y'all all well and say, Happy New Year again. And just let y'all know, y'all definitely all loved out there. Definitely loved out there. But anyway, we're recapping workers' compensation. If you have a member who gets injured, make sure that a union rep is contacted so they can be helped filling out the injury on duty report. That's important. All right. Also, like I said, Cuomo made an announcement to cancel shutting down the L train. We're still up in the air on what's going to happen, but I don't think we're picking. Pick costs money. I don't think that's going to happen. Fighting the cause of organized labor, the politics, the infighting. I think I skipped that, but yeah, we have to all think about fighting the cause of organized labor. If you don't know what the cause of organized labor is, we're fighting the bully. We're fighting for benefits, for money to keep up with inflation, to be able to live in nice homes and reap the benefits of our labor. And a lot of that comes with fights and battles and being in bed with politicians in order to get political support in one area or another. So that's the cause of organized labor. Gave the example on experience. I told you about the mass membership meeting, and I mentioned to you about the traffic check, and I also spoke about the discipline in one way, but these guys in the MTA, they make discipline up, and they make it up. They come up with these ridiculously high penalties. They'll take you out of service for major infractions or what they deem to be major infractions of the contract, and then we have to go and do what's called a PDS if it's feasible to do a PDS. If not, we have to wait and take it to arbitration, and a lot of times a person can't wait to take it to arbitration because contractually, once you get taken out of service, you got, and you go through your steps, you got 21 days before you get put on a calendar. And then if it's adjourned at the arbitration, then you got 14 more days to be put back on the calendar. So it's a little bit crazy. But Ruben Smith Jr., I want to answer your question. You were saying, hey Donnie, if I'm a MaBstoa bus operator, is there any way possible for me to get to work in Staten Island without taking the TA? No, brother. You have to be TA. You have to take the civil service exam in order for you to go to Staten Island. And let me explain that a little bit, because back before the year 2002, some of you guys were probably babies. But in 2002, before 2002, MaBstoa was its own entity. It was just the Manhattan and Bronx Surface Transit Operating Authority. That's what we were. The Transit Authority was the Transit Authority. It was Brooklyn, it was Queens, Staten Island, and they had you had to take a civil service exam to get those jobs, and a lot of people who came on the job. I came on the job in 1994. I took the exam I think it was 1988. I took the exam. It was a bus operator conductor exam. And when the MTA started doing back then is they started pulling people from the civil service list and offering jobs into MaBstoa. And back then we was, I was a traffic agent. I had started working for the city in 1990, right? I was a traffic agent during that time there was the Department of Transportation, and they didn't pay a lot of money at all, but they had great benefits, but the money sucked. So if you wanted to build a family, well, you definitely needed more money. And anyway, needless to say, I got called in 1994, and I took the job. I took MaBstoa. I took the job for the money. The money was way better than being in traffic, and I couldn't wait to be called for the civil service title. If I would have waited, I probably would have been working in the ATU union out in Queens somewhere, because that's where I was from. And everybody wants to work close to home, and that was the whole purpose of bus consolidation for the membership. The membership wanted to work close to home, and for management, well, it was a cost saving. It's cost savings for management, and that's bus consolidation. There's a couple of different unions that's involved. The ATU in Queens, local 1056, and then you have the ATU in Staten Island was local 726, and then you have TW local 100. They're separate entities, but the same. And being realistically, everybody wants to know, well, how could you have different unions? Well, because when back in the 40s and the 30s, or maybe even before that, when these companies were all private, these unions were the ones that were on those properties. So that's why you have these different unions and different factions of unions who might have organized those properties back then. So, yeah, Sean, you funny. Yeah, I'm sitting here. Well, my wife was doing laundry, so, and yeah, it's done. Thank you. Anyway, I want to say goodnight to you guys, and I'll answer some of y'all questions offline because I know some of y'all had some comments, and I want to answer them. I'm going to get on there and answer some of you offline. And be well, my brothers and my sisters, and we're going to continue to do these lives. We're going to continue to do these educations. And and let me not forget that the Manhattan Division, if you work in Michael J. Quill, Manhattanville, Tuskegee, Mother Clara Hale, traffic checking operations, or you're working Central Revenue Facility, we have a division meeting on Tuesday. We have a division meeting. It's going to be at the YMCA at 11 o'clock over on 65 West 64th Street or 5 West 63rd Street. I always get that mixed up. But and we also have a second meeting at 7 p.m. at the Union Hall. I will see you there. I will be swearing in our officers, and if you could just come on through, and you can get the meat and potatoes of what's going on, things I can't say on here. But anyway, you guys be very safe out there. There's a lot of crazies out here, and be well.